Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Daily Creative Challenge. I'm kidding. But the air quality here is very bad, so I'm going to be a little bit scratchy today. If you guys see me mute my mic and turn off and cough, oh, you're going to get double audio. Sorry about that. If you see me mute my mic, turn off, and cough, just send me some water emojis in chat. That'll be helpful. So hello, welcome back to the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. My name is Andrew Hockrattle, and I am your host and guide on the other side for the next 2 weeks. We are a couple days in now, but we are continuing on with our daily creative challenges for Adobe Illustrator. If you're new here, you don't know what we're doing every single day, we have a new challenge for you to learn something and grow your skills in Adobe Illustrator. Now, there are a couple ways that you can get involved, and the first of which is getting into our Discord. And let me know where you're watching from, and let me know how the air quality is there, everyone in chat. It's always great to know where everyone is in the world. So the way you can get involved right here, going to bit.ly/AI Discord. That is the place to be. And hello, Madi, and your team is here, and Steve is here. Lots of fun friends. So right here, bit.ly/AI Discord. Over there, a lot of people are talking. They're posting their work. They're hanging out, having some fun. And let's pop over and see what y'all did yesterday with your... we worked on jack-o'-lanterns yesterday. That's right. So let's go ahead and pop on over there. Ooh, looking spooky. We're getting spooky this week. It is Halloween here in the US, and we are getting real creepy, so we're having some fun. And hello, Ted. This is your first live AIDCC. Everyone say hi to Ted. Welcome to the program, Ted. It's going to be so much fun. And let's go ahead and look at some of these. These are great. Good job creating these awesome jack-o'-lanterns. Ooh, this one's spooky. Great job. So good work, everyone. If you missed this challenge, you can go back and watch it yesterday and catch up. And the way to do that is actually to pop on over into behance.net/challenge/illustrator. Now, before we go there, we need to jump into our theme. Yes, every time that we do these challenges, we do have a theme. And this time we are in the theme of spooky. So a little bit of Halloween, a little bit of fortune teller vibes coming at you. And so today, to summon the spirits of creativity, we will need you to, in chat, put an emoji, put a sentence, put your incantation as we try to summon the host of our Illustrator Daily Creative Challenges. Let's see if we can. Melagana to ma to ma to ma to melagana man. Melagana to ma to ma to ma to melaga elaga. What is this chanting? I don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know what trick I ought to try. Ooh, speaking of tricks, we are going to give you some very good tricks today working in Adobe Illustrator. Yes, I am here and I am Andrew Hockrattle, your floating ghost guide for the rest of these challenges. Now, before we actually jump into Adobe Illustrator, let's go ahead and pop over and show you how you can get involved. And yes, I'm using the wrong chair today, and so we got a little bit of floating behind me. That's my companion back there. So right here is where you can get involved and where you can get all the information that you need. It is behance.net/challenge/illustrator. And you can go here and you can watch from yesterday. And yes, Wade, I think it did work. You have summoned very much. Good work. So right here, we can see all of the challenges. Yesterday, this is what we did. Let's turn the vibes back on. There we go. And today is the ghostly type. You can grab the source files, download them, and start working with us today. The other thing that I want to show is, there we go, that's one. The Adobe Creative Residency Fund. It is almost the last day to apply there. 2 more days. So you can apply and be considered for the November cohort. So go check that out and get involved. It's an awesome program. Helps Adobe invest back into the community and helps you get involved with the community as well. So with that, let's go ahead and hop on over into Adobe Illustrator. And yes, I've been using a different chair and also my arms float outside. This is we're like a 70% success rate today. That's how we're gonna go. So but here we are. We are in our challenge for the day. We're using our imaginations, And today, our challenge is to create some spooky typography using zigzags and type effects. Ooh, fun. And here we go. Whatever you do, don't cross the streams. Does anyone know what that quote is from? Let me know in chat. So let's hop in, and I'm going to show you a bunch of cool effects and a bunch of things that you can play around with here in Illustrator using type effects. So the first is I'm actually going to just straight up show you how to apply a zigzag to type. So let's go ahead and let's type out the word spooky. Let's do a bunch of those. A bunch of O's. Spooky. And yes, Ghostbusters. Are you the keymaster? Are you the gatekeeper? All right, so we have our type here, and I've made this type just using T, which is the type tool, and typed out the word spooky. Now I'm going to make a copy of this using the selection tool and clicking and dragging, holding Alt and Shift. It's just going to move it straight down. So we've created this word, and check this out. We're going to select this and go to Effects, Distort and Transform, and Zigzag. This is what we'll be using a lot of the day. And what zigzag is going to do is it's basically going to, in between each point, each anchor point, going to make an amount of wiggles. So let's do this with a line so I can show you. So we have this line here, and you can see that this line actually has 2 points, 1 point here and 1 point here. If we go to Effect, Distort and Transform, and Zigzag, you'll see that here we have a bunch of options. So we're going to turn on the preview. And real quick, I'm actually going to make this a stroke so you guys can see it better. There we go. So we'll go to zigzag. And from here, you can see that it is having a rides per segment, which is 4. And that means between left point and right point, there are 4 ups and downs. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 tops and bottoms, basically. And so we can increase the number of tops and bottoms here. So we keep that going, and you can see that it has more zigzag and more wiggle. And we also can change the size. If we want this to get really zigzaggy, we can change the size, and it will go up and down further. And we also can change this to smooth. And so this is the way that people get nice wave lines very easily. You can do this with a pen tool, but it's super hard. And so we're going to take this down and do like 4. So we'll hit OK. And from here, we can actually take this line and go to Object, Expand Appearance, and it's going to make this perfect line for us that is the perfect wiggle. So if you've ever wondered how to make a wiggle, how to make a wave, that is the way to do it. It's super easy using the zigzag tool. So now that we understand how the zigzag tool works, right, that it's basically between one anchor point and another, let's try to apply this to some type. So we're going to select this type, and from here we're going to go to Effect, Distort and Transform, and Zigzag. Now this is going to look really crazy, and this is where it gets kind of insane, is because it's doing 4 rides per segment, and that is applied in between each anchor point. So you can see that the font has anchor points on the top, on the left, whatever. And so the distances are different on each of the anchor points. That means that the rides per segment will be different because the segments are different. So that's fine. We can play around with that. And instead of doing corner, we're going to change it to smooth, and it's going to make it really wobbly. Ooh, fun. And we can change it so that it goes really crazy, or we can bring it down so it's not crazy at all. So let's put this actually at 0.02. Just a little bit to give us that wonkiness. And then maybe we do some more rides per segment and make it really, really crazy. If we take it down, it gets wonky. There we go. So that looks spooky. So we've created some nice kind of spooky, ghostly type. Now, that looks good to me, but there's one more thing that we need to do, and that is apply a gradient. So what we can do, oops, I need to outline this. Do I need to outline this? Yes. Okay. So to outline this, we're going to go to Object and Expand Appearance with that selected, and it will basically just expand it. So now we have all of our new anchor points. And yes, sorry, this is Trade Gothic Next Pro. It is in Adobe Font, so you can use that very easily. So now we have our spooky type, and the way that I want to play with this is to make it fade away. And so we can add in a gradient. So we're going to click on the gradient tool here, and we're just going to click on, oops, we need to make this a compound path. So we're going to right click and go to Object, Compound Path, and Make. What that does is it takes all of these individual letters and tells Illustrator to treat it as if it is one shape. So we're going to grab our gradient tool, and we're going to click on this word, and now you can see that we have our gradient, and we are going to drag this so that it is vertical. There we go, that looks good. And we're going to move, oops, I added the wrong point. So we're going to grab this end here and just move it up quite a bit. Let's go ahead and grab that gradient one more time. Swoop. There we go. And we'll pull this gradient all the way up. Come on, let's go. There we go. So here we actually want it to be the opposite way. So I'm going to rotate it one more time right there. And we want it to kind of fade away. So let's go ahead and grab this and we can pull it down so that we have exactly where we want it to be. That looks good to me. And now we can see that our spooky type is floating away as if it was a ghost. We have these little wonky edges on there, which is super fun. Now, there's another way that we can do this using the zigzag tool. So let's check this out. What we can do is we can grab the type, and I'm literally going to show you like 40 ways to do this because, again, there's no wrong way to do things here in Illustrator, only different ways. So we're going to grab our type, and we are going to go to Object and Expand. There we go, we have it expanded. And from here, I'm actually going to cut this right in half. So I'm using the rectangle tool, which is M, and I am clicking and just dragging straight across. And I will again make this a compound path. Go to Compound Path and Make. And now we're going to take this top shape, this rectangle, and basically punch it out of the bottom one. So we're going to come to our Pathfinder over here, and we're going to use one down here that I believe is called Divide. For some reason my labels don't show up anymore. I believe it's called Divide. So you can click on that, and it looks like it didn't do anything, but it did. We're going to grab the Direct Selection tool and go in here and delete. And what it did is it basically made all of the things that were overlapping into separate shapes. So we've got a bunch of little counters on the O's, but you can see now if we go to preview mode, it is actually two separate things. So we'll ungroup these and then just grab this bottom part, and you can see now that we have the bottom part completely separate. Great. Now, what we can do next is we are going to play around with our zigzag tool. We're going to click and make a line. And this line, let's actually bring it in a little bit on the bottom, right there. And then maybe we do another one on the other side. So we're using the pen tool to make these lines. Very easy, very quick. There we go. So now we have these two lines, and we are going to make these zigzags. So we'll go to Effect, Distort and Transform, and Zigzag. We're going to change it to Smooth because we want it to have that nice little wobble. And there we go. So we have a little more of a wobble. There we go. And 4 looks great to me, so we're going to hit OK. And now that we have these two kind of wobbly wobblies using the zigzags, we can select these and go to Object, Expand Appearance, so we can have perfectly zigzagged type. Now we'll grab the pen tool and join these so that it becomes a shape. And we're just doing that by clicking on the ending anchor points and then connecting them to the next one. So now we've got our anchor points there. It looks like this isn't straight, and I actually need it to be. So there we go. That's close enough. The bottom doesn't necessarily need to be straight, but let's go ahead and fix it. All right, so from here, this is where it gets crazy. What we're going to do is we are going to try to take the bottom of this. We could use the knife tool to cut. I don't do it that way. I almost never use the knife tool. So if you use the knife tool in your process, 100% use the knife tool to cut it straight across. That's super easy. I've just gotten in the habit of using the Pathfinder. So with this, we're going to right click and make sure that it is arranged to bring to front. And now we will select both our wobbly shape as well as the bottom of the type. We can go to Object, Envelope Distort, and Make with Top Object. And watch what this does. This is going to get really crazy. So we've used the zigzags, and now we're taking the type and applying basically the zigzag shape to the type. So we're going to Make with Top Object, and you can see that it's morphing to exactly what our zigzag shape is, right? So we have these curves here. It's morphing to those curves and creating something very, very crazy for us. So now we can come in here and kind of play around with making sure that this all lines up perfectly. It is going to take a little while to line up, but you kind of just have to finagle with it. And there we go, pretty close. So now we've created some type that hits it and kind of wobbles down. Now, if we really want to get in here and mess around with some of these anchor points, we can simply drag a copy and go to Object and Rasterize, right? Rasterize. So we'll rasterize this, and then from here we can come in and just image trace it. You can use something that is maybe black and white logo, hit OK. It's going to think about it, and there we go. We'll hit expand, and now we have all of these anchor points. So now you can come in and mess around with some of these anchor points that had issues. You can grab the smooth tool, there it is, and then come in here and maybe play around with the smooth tool a little bit, smooth out some of these curves, really play around with whatever you want this type to be. But we've created this really spooky, crazy type. All right, we have 10 minutes left. Water emojis, thank you. That's 3. We have 10 minutes left, so I'm going to show you one more way to create some spooky type, and this time is going to be a little bit different. And so what we can do actually with this is let's go ahead and put our gradient on it. Oh, so it's kept the white here. We actually want to get rid of that. So we can grab the, there we go. So I'm actually going to apply a gradient to this so that we can see again what we were working with before, so that it looks like it's kind of fading away. There we go. Looks like it's kind of fading away very ghostly into the abyss. Now we're going to do one more. I promise you guys, this is going to be the best one. It's going to be fun. And we're actually, you know what? Let's just do it up here. Let's do it up here. We're going to do it in white. And maybe we'll put a glow on this one. We'll see what happens. So what we can do is we're going to take this, and with this type, we are going to use something that is not necessarily a zigzag, that is a mesh that we will make into a zigzag. So we'll go to Object, Envelope Distort, and Make with Mesh. Now this is where it gets really crazy. So we're going to do, let's do 3 rows with 2 columns. Let's do 3 columns, why not? So hit OK, and now it's going to make a mesh. And this mesh, basically what it's doing is it's taken this type and made it so that it has anchor points around it. Each of these anchor points we could click and drag, and it's going to move and augment this type in a new way. So it's making it super crazy here. But what we can do is, just like we were playing with the zigzag, we can grab an entire row right here and maybe move it to the left. And then over here, create another zigzag where we move it to the right. And then again here, maybe we move this one to the left. Okay, so now we've created kind of this this wobbly type. But let's say that we want like a little box down here, right? Like, just like in Ghostbusters, to where there's a little box, and maybe this is where, right, the top of the box is open, and we're looking to capture some ghosts. I'm afraid to know ghost. So we've open the box, we're trying to capture the ghost, and we want this to go into that box. What we can do is, using the direct selection tool, just grab the bottom of this, all these bottom points. So we're clicking and dragging each of these bottom anchors, and we can drag them down into the area that we want them, right? So now they're pulling down, but just at that part. Now, not only can we move it left and right and pull it up and down, we also can scale it. So check this out. I'm going to grab the scale tool right here, and I'm going to click and drag, and you can see that it's starting to scale that down. What it's going to do is it's going to create some crazy perspective for us, so it looks like it's getting sucked into this box. So we've created that, and we can come in here and then augment some of the rest of these points, and maybe make it so it's a little more gradual, but we can again scale down, and it will look like it's pulling this type in for us. And maybe we want it to really go back and forth. We can grab these and just drag them left and right, and it's going to continually change that that type. And yes, thinking about meshes, this is 100%. One of the best ways to do it is to use meshes. I love, love, love using meshes. So you can play around with these and really mess with it, make it totally insane and a little bit spooky. So that got a little bit crazy for me. I want it to still be readable. So we're going to go ahead and pull these a little more in. They got pretty crazy. We got carried away. That's what happens on this chat sometimes. There we go. So now it is still readable, still says spooky. And then I can still come in here, and instead of augmenting the actual mesh, I can click here and it will give me the object. So this is the object that I want. And from here, I can outline it and then come over and apply my gradient. So just like we had before, I'm going to go ahead and set that at a 90 degree. This I actually want to be this nice little green. Ooh. And then instead of having it go to white, let's set it to this green again. And instead of being 100% opacity, let's have it at 0% opacity. So now it looks like it is being sucked into our ghost trap. We've created this type that is being sucked into the ghost trap that is very crazy, very wonky, and we still can come back here, and instead of having this selected, right, so up here, this right one is going to edit the object, the left one is going to edit the mesh. So grab the mesh, and we'll pull this here, and now we can augment this mesh as much as we want it. We can even grab individual ones so that it gets really weird and kind of pushes down either way, and create something that's a little bit different that looks a lot more ghostly. So play around with that, see what you guys can come up with. And yes, ghosts are coming out. So there we go. So we've made it very spooky, very wonky, and this is what I want you to do for your daily creative challenge. You can even add some effects if you want. So maybe we want to do some absolute Ghostbuster effects. We can come in here and we'll just grab these and do maybe a nice glow. So maybe we'll do the same gradient coming in from the bottom and make this, let's say, yellow. So make this yellow, and now it's glowing. And then you can play around with some of the things that we talked about yesterday of using glows and even blending modes to augment that. So now we have some light that's kind of coming up and making it very, very crazy. And yes, didn't realize that you could still edit an object after doing the mesh. Absolutely. Flip back and forth when you have it selected between the mesh and the regular object. You also, if that is text, you can go in and still edit that text. It looks like it has two different, I don't know which one is right one. And is there more than one Discord site? No, there is a lot of Discords actually for all of the daily creative challenges, but that brings me to the next point. And that is right here. This is the place to be, bit.ly/AI Discord. Hello, Voodoo Val in chat. So this is the place to be with the Discord, and from there you will get plugged in right here and see all of the amazing work. I want you to post your work at the end of the day and plug it in there. So hopping back, because someone had a question on it, yes, so we can come back in and change the type. And it looked like we had, right, so let's grab this type one more time and I'll show you how it works with that envelope. We'll go to Object, Envelope Distort, and make with Mesh. Now you can do this with 2 and 2 if you want. You can set as many as you want, but with this, we can come in here, we can move it around, we can make it super crazy so that it gets wonky. We can make it so that on the inside, maybe the middle is kind of pushing one way, and maybe it's going this way, and this one's going that way. And even with all of these augmentations, we can come in here, and it's, yes, so much spooky that you can't read it, absolutely. You can come in here, and you can grab this shape. You can go, instead of editing the mesh, you go to edit the object, and that type is still live. So if I want to, I can come in here and I can just type my name, and it's going to keep all of the same things that you've applied to that mesh. It's just going to apply it to the new text. Sorry. So it's going to apply it to the new text, so it does stay live, and you can type whatever you want. So hello, chat. And it's keeping all of the augmentations of that mesh into that new type. So really easy and great way to make some crazy, crazy type. And again, yes, very inspiring. Awesome. Margaret, if you are inspired, oh boy, is this an opportunity for you. You can go ahead and go to right here, the behance.net/challenge/illustrator, get your source files, get involved, download this ghostly type pack, and that will have all the files for you in there to work on to create your ghostly type. And at the end of the day, once you're done, I want you to post right here on our Behance. I'll be going live a little bit this afternoon and then probably again tonight to give you all some feedback and hang out at your spooky type. Nice. Kevin has already got started and created some type here. It looks like we're using some offsets. Really fun. Super goopy. This reminds me of Rocky Horror Picture Show a little bit. So great job here, and make sure that you go to Discord right here, bit.ly/AI Discord, get plugged in and post your work there. Now there is one more thing that I want to tell you about in the last minute, and that is if you are going to be posting on Discord, at the end of our challenges, also make sure that you post here on Behance and use the hashtag AI Daily Challenge. Using that hashtag will get you considered to be in the best of our creative challenges gallery, and how cool would it be to be featured in a gallery? Really cool is the answer there. So let's go ahead and take a look at what's coming up next. It's our friend Julia. We love Julia. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to stick around for the next stream with Julia. She's going live in about 5 minutes, and I want you to drop some ghost emojis. Let her know that we're coming from the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge and that we have gotten very spooky over there. So stick around for Julia, and then there's a bunch of awesome content coming to you for the rest of the day. And remember, drop those spooky emojis for Julia in 5 minutes, and I will see you in chat there, supporting her and supporting the rest of the people here on Behance. I'll see you guys tomorrow for our next Daily Creative Challenge. Bye!